summaries, living inside out. It is how and why the heart defines a Christian. If you want to get your copy of this book, be sure you go to the QR code and it'll take you to Amazon where you can get your copy of this book. But today, a summary of chapter 1.
Well, chapter 1 looks at the internals and the externals of the Christian life. I said one other time that somebody told me years ago, God's concerned about the heart, who we are, not just what we do. Though He is concerned about what we do, and that's why we're called human beings, not human doings. God looks on the heart, man looks on the externals. What makes a heart that God is attracted to? I looked at the core of the heart. Well, a young man asked Jesus once, "What's the great commandment?" He said, "Love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, your neighbor as yourself." What's the problem with that? Well, I love me. That's the problem. I need a new heart.
Right.
And so God gives us a new heart, and all of the commandments are given so that we might know you need to humble yourself and trust me, and I will create in you a new heart. Well, when we love, who loves? Well, the one who's loved by God, and the one who understands humility as well. Because though Jesus says the great commandment, the greatest commandment is to love, He says, they ask, who's the greatest? And He says, well, the one who humbles himself. He said, well, which is it? Is it more important to love, or is it more important to be humble? Well, it's the humble heart that's able to love, because you have to give up who you are. And He says another place, he who has my commandments and keeps them, he's the one that loves me. So it's not just about a feeling of love, but it's an obedient heart. God is holy just because of who He is. His nature is holy. But we are holy as we align with that nature, as we willingly choose His will and keep His commandments. And that's how we love God. And all that has to happen by faith. As for the proud, He says his heart is not right within him, but the just will live by faith. The opposite of faith is pride. And the opposite of pride is faith, not just humility, but they're intimately linked. He guides the meek in justice. He teaches the meek His way. Moses knew his way, and what was unique about Moses? He was the meekest man in all the earth. God taught Moses His ways. The children of Israel, it says, only knew His acts, but Moses knew His ways. How do those things fit together? Love, humility, holiness, faith. That's the heart God delights in. And the externals talk about Acts 2:42, the apostles' doctrine, the Word of God, fellowship, breaking bread, and prayer. And we'll talk about those in turn.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks for watching us. If you want to get the book, go to the QR code, and we'll be back in our next installment. We'll talk about chapter